Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Keiaradise. Some much needed updates are in order. Okay, I am sorry I disappeared for a little bit. Y'all know how I am, but I need to get consistent. But let's talk updates and what has been happening for the last 3 months. I hope you guys are being safe and healthy during this pandemic. It's a mess. But I was working at a major bank, and I just quit. I just quit, even though I knew I was quitting. Okay, so let me give you the background. So I moved back from China. If you don't know, I lived in China for 8 years, and I moved back last year in March because I got fired from my job, and I was like, I could stay and try to find another job, which would have been easy, but it was way more complicated. I think I'll go into detail in another video. But that's already been 1.5 years almost. Anyway, came back home to San Francisco, California, living in my mama's house. Okay, I redid my room and everything. I'll show you guys my room later. But anyway, okay, moved back in late March of last year. Spent 3 months fun employed, just off, doing nothing, okay, doing not a thing. And then I noticed that my savings was just going out the window. That number just kept getting smaller, and that was coming in. And I was like, oh my God, let me find a job. So I started applying for part-time jobs, and then I found a job at a wax museum. Madame Tussauds. I worked there from July to November. And in between then, so while I was working there, I went on so many different trips, which I have to make travel videos for. I went to that was a notification. Anyway, I went to Aruba, Panama, Miami, Cuba, Mexico. I think that's it in that time. And I haven't traveled since, obviously, because of not just COVID, but brokenness. Okay, so when I got back from Cuba, which was in late October, I was gone for 2 weeks, and I was like, I'm over this job. I'm so tired of it. I don't want to do this anymore. And then I was hell-bent. I was like, well, what am I gonna do? I have a really good friend who works in banking, and she's really smart, and she kind of attributes all of her knowledge to working in banking and encountering all these different complex situations. And I was like, I should get a job at the bank. So I remember I worked on Friday. I was sick of it. I was like, I'm applying for a new job because I don't want to do this anymore. And then I went to the library on Saturday, spruced up my resume, applied online to Bank of America. Yeah, it's Bank of America. It's okay. Whatever. I was not trying to say which bank it was, but whatever. So yeah, I applied, and then Monday morning, I got a call from a recruiter. And luckily I had answered, because usually I don't answer my phone unless I know the number. But I happened to answer. Thank you, universe. And then she was like, oh, when are you free to do an interview? I was like, as soon as possible. And she was like, okay, what about tomorrow? So the following day, which was Tuesday, I had an interview. And it was at the Bank of America in Chinatown. Not Chinatown, but San Francisco basically is one big Chinatown. So there's multiple places that can be Chinatown. So there was this one Chinatown area, China, whatever. And I interviewed with the Chinese guy, and I was speaking to him in Chinese and everything like that. And then Thursday I got the job offer, and I was like, cool. I accepted the offer, went to the wax museum for the last day, said I'm not coming back. Okay, I quit. And he was like, you're not even gonna give me 2 weeks notice? No, I ain't coming tomorrow. You're lucky I came today. I'm gonna finish my shift, I'll do that, but tomorrow And then I started at no, I had to do like they had to do a background check, and it was kind of complicated because they would like look at 5 years, and for 5 years I was in China, so I don't really know what they do. They just use my fingerprints or whatever. Okay. And so I was supposed to start in late December, but something with my background check, there was some kind of discrepancy, I don't know, and they're like, oh, we have to push your start date till late January. And I was like, cool. So from November to January, I was also unemployed. And then I started, and it just so happens that they were like gonna be the bank right by my house, like literally walk to work like 10 minutes, you know. And so right when I you do like 6 weeks of training. So you train at one financial center that's not your own, and then you get put into your permanent financial center. So I trained in one place, and everything was okay at that time. Like COVID-19, this was in January, February mainly. It was kind of becoming a lot more hyped, and I knew that being in contact with like a lot of my friends from China, they were on lockdown, and it was like a pandemic, but the United States didn't want to recognize it as a pandemic until it was too late. And so when I started at my regular center, it was like I worked for I think 3 weeks, and then all the shelter in place stuff started, like gloves, masks, social distancing, yada yada yada. You know, Rona was Ronin. And so it was really good because like B of A, at least they took a lot of initiative, and when they were extremely proactive when it came to like their approach to the pandemic, you know, and the well-being of their employees. I feel like hats off to B of A. Like they were getting us free lunch, free commute. Like if you had to take Uber or something like that, you could get that reimbursed. And the lunches, we can just order up to $25 a day from like any delivery app, you know, DoorDash, Grubhub, whatever, up to $25 a day. They reduced the hours of the financial center being open, but kept the employees on an 8-hour payroll still, so that was good. They gave us a bonus for each pay period, like it was like a $200 bonus. I was like, well, okay, all I gotta do is walk there. But working just, especially in retail, like that's not me. I'm not a retail person, you know. I can't do this. So I remember in January, actually, what had happened was, let me rewind. When I had applied for Bank of America and got the job, and I was in that kind of like segue in between my start date, I met this person who I'm not in contact anymore. It's just like, you know, you meet people and from all walks of life, and you don't know what purpose that they're gonna serve in your life, and sometimes they just serve that one purpose, you know, like to tell you that one thing, and you got to accept it for what it is. So I met this guy at a bar, and he was like, I told him, you know, a little bit about my background story. I think I was talking to a whole group of people, but he was like fascinated because he was like, wait, you speak Chinese? Oh, I need to know more about this. I need to wait, let me, hold up, tell me more. And I was like, oh yeah, you know, da 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 da, you know, gave him the whole spiel. And he was like, oh, okay, can I have your number? I thought he wanted to be friends, okay? I'm like, I was cool to be friends. But anyway, so what happened? When we hung out like a month later, right? And he was like, because I think he lived in like Los Angeles and would come to San Francisco every whatever. And he said to me, like, he mentioned my story to a lawyer friend of his, and the friend was like, you know, Chinese and law, that's a good combination. And he was basically like, why are you working at B of A? Like, why are you girl, that's for the birds. You don't need to be doing that. You need to be making some real money. Like, she was so impressed. I want to introduce you to her and everything like that, but I didn't know what area of law she was in anyway, but whatever. So I guess guy was trying to like get in my pants. He just kind of ghosted me because I put him in the friend zone. We went out once and I was like not trying to, you know, trying to keep my distance. Hey buddy. And I think, I don't know, I just never heard from him again. And all right. So I remember this prompted me to have a conversation with my friend who worked in banking, the one that I mentioned earlier, saying how she's smart and da 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 da. And I was like, what do you think about what he said? And she was like, oh, well, you know, if I were you, I would look into how I can get whatever credentials I need so I can be making this big money. Okay. Because she was like, my sister-in-law is a lawyer and she's our same age. She's in her late 20s, maybe early 30s. No, she's probably in her early 30s, actually, whatever. And she makes, you know, 6 figures, 200 an hour kind of thing. Like, not even an hour. Of course, she's a salary paid worker, of course. So she's, you know what I mean? And she'd be traveling the world and just doing her cases, travel, case, travel. And she's like, you know, that's how you need to be. And I'm like, you're right. You're right, girl. I feel it, you know. Because, you know, we all knew B of A was, or working in banking was just going to be like a summer job or like a job just to get me on my feet kind of thing. So that was in, in December when she and I had that conversation. I think it was over Christmas. And I went back home and I was like, okay, I was like, she's right. Let me look up like some law programs, you know, let me just see what's up. So I just looked up law programs San Francisco. Like, I'm not really interested in moving anywhere at this point. I've got to be in San Francisco so I can just live at home and Uber to campus. And so I just Googled it. This was like Saturday, 4 p.m. Friday, 4 p.m. And I just so happened to come across USF, University of San Francisco. They were the first thing that came up. And it was like an LLM program, which is a Master's of Law program. And they had a couple different ones, but I just saw that and I was like, I'd rather just talk to a person, like talk to a human. Let me call. So like I told you, it was almost their closing time. So she was like, I just called and said, hey, can I make an appointment to meet with somebody and ask some questions that I have? Yeah, sure. Okay. You know, so we made the appointment for Monday. And when I go to the appointment, it's just in the law building. And when I talked to the lady, we didn't really go into any detail. I just said, hey, I'm thinking of applying. I have a bunch of questions. Boom. So she put me down for like a JD with the JD, and what is it called? Admissions director. So as you know, you can have two types of, sorry, that's not two, that's three. Two types of law degrees. You can have a Juris Doctor, which is what most American students get when they graduate, and which is about 3 or 4 years, I think. Or you can get an LLM, which is what I want to do, right? So when she made the appointment, she had me meeting with the Juris Doctor lady. So right when I sat down with her, she was like, oh, you want to do an LLM? Okay, let me see if the LLM lady director is available to talk to you, you know. So right when I go and sit down or go to her office and knock on the door, it's like this petite, beautiful Black woman. Right? And so we got to talking and we hit it off. Like, we talked for like 2 hours, and I told her all about, you know, me living in China and my issues with like trying to establish working in law out here. Like, she's like, oh, I know exactly what you're going through. Our LLM program has as a majority international students, and most of them have an LLB or a bachelor's of law like I have. But That's why they end up doing just the LLM and they don't need to do the Juris Doctor, you know. So she was like, yeah, girl, you don't need. And I asked her, do I need to take the bar? She was like, you don't really need to take the bar. What? You know, like, she's just so knowledgeable. And she said that she's been, she does international human rights law, and she's done work with like the UN, and she worked in France and Norway and Tanzania and Beijing. Like, she's just been all over the world, okay? The world. And after our conversation, she was like, I want you to go to the school. I want you to do this program. I will give you a scholarship. I was like, okay. She said, okay, turn in because she's like, the deadline is next week. The deadline is like, or not next week. I think it was next month or something like that. Like, that was in January. And so, or beginning of January. And then so like the application was beginning of February. She was like, all right, get your application. You got to write a personal statement. You got to write, you got to get 2 recommendation letters. You got to give me your transcripts. You got to do all that stuff. Girl, you know, I didn't. I got accepted to the university, and I start next week, or not next week, next month. And yeah, so that was really good. And so I worked in B of A. It was great experience, you know, eye-opening. It shows me that I'm like, I need to either work for myself or work way up that ladder. Okay, I need to be at the top of the pyramid. Okay, I don't want to be down here with the peasants. I'm sorry, I'm tired. I'm tired of being a peasant. Okay, I'm a queen. Yeah, so those are my updates. Gonna be starting law school. Oh, and the major is intellectual property and technology law. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm studying right now. They gave us all these like modules, and okay. Oh, and it's all going to be remote, you know, because of COVID-19. But hopefully in the spring, we'll be able to go to the campus. So everything is on Zoom. But this university is like top notch, like so user friendly. Like, you can I just see the vast differences between USF and Fudan University. Because Fudan University, like, they got it together a little bit more when I was about to graduate. I remember my junior year is when they started taking my suggestions, because I was like, we should have like a buddy system. Like, why don't we have which I did kind of do myself. I had appointed a teacher, and he found some students to help tutor me. But like, I don't know, during my junior year, that's when they made it like easier for us international students. But anyway, I can just see like the differences between USF and Fudan University, or university in the United States and university in China. Like, truth be told, I'm just saying. So yeah, okay, all right, I said enough. Okay, so hope you liked this video. Here, those are my updates, and I hope you guys are staying safe and fabulous. Okay, Rona, go away. We all tired of Rona. I'm tired. I want to go somewhere. I'm gonna travel. Where y'all gonna be traveling to when Rona open back up? Okay, I said I'm in until May when I graduate. I mean, I ain't going nowhere. I'm not getting on no plane. I ain't getting on no train. I ain't getting on no bus. I ain't getting on nothing. I ain't going nowhere. Hopefully by May, Rona will be kaput, you know, at least vaccinated or something like that. Anyway, where y'all gonna be going if you could travel? I still have to think of it. I'll let the universe guide me. Anyway, okay, yeah. Bye.